Hello, and welcome to Hyliion's fourth quarter and full year 2023 earnings call. On today's call, I am joined by our Chief Financial Officer, Jon Panzer. Over this past quarter, we have been primarily focused on and have made great progress towards our shift to the KARNO generator. I am pleased to share that we were able to achieve some critical milestones over the past few months and that keep us on track with our previously shared timeline. I'll cover this in more detail on today's call, as well as share highlights around our product development, sales efforts, and an update on our operational plans. On our last earnings call, we announced the difficult yet necessary decision to wind down our electric powertrain operations and preserve the technology for potential later use or sale. While this was a challenging decision, we continue to believe, and we have seen more examples in the market of, how this was the correct strategic move for the company and our shareholders. At a high level, the wind down of the powertrain is proceeding as expected, and we continue to look for opportunities to monetize the assets and technology that we developed. As we mentioned last year, we expect that the reduction in expenses associated with the wind down of our powertrain segment will result in approximately a 70% reduction in cash burn this year compared to last. This leaves us in a strong financial position as we start 2024 with $291 million of capital and expect to utilize about $40 to $50 million worth of this capital this year for our KARNO development. Because of this strong financial position, last quarter we announced a $20 million stock repurchase program. While repurchasing shares is certainly unusual for a pre-revenue company, we thought it was important. The initiation of this program underscores our confidence in the potential of the KARNO generator's innovative technology and in our ability to complete development and delivery of initial units later this year and begin scaling deployments with the capital we have on hand. Our strong capital position affords us the opportunity to further enhance value for our shareholders, particularly at a time when we believe the market has yet to fully value the company's potential. At the time of the share repurchase announcement, our stock was trading at nearly a 3x discount to the value of our cash and investments alone. Therefore, we believe that a share repurchase program was in the best long-term interest of our shareholders. On our last earnings call, we showcased the key milestones that remain as we work towards initial deployments of beta design generators with customers later this year. I am pleased to share that we remain on track with these milestones and have made great progress towards them. As a reminder, the KARNO generator is a fuel-agnostic electric generator that is expected to offer significant benefits and advantages over conventional generators in the areas of efficiency, operating costs, emissions, versatility, power density, and many other characteristics. It is enabled by advanced additive manufacturing technology and leverages a linear heat motor to produce electricity. Our primary focus is providing distributed power generation that can operate on various fuel sources, including hydrogen, to address the many challenges facing the electric grid and power consumers today and in the future. I'll first start with some updates on our product development. As a reminder, the KARNO technology has been in development for over 5 years. The development version of the generator that we started showcasing in 2023 was a 125 kilowatt capable design of the generator that we call Alpha. This design has been in testing, and we've been making design changes and improvements to it. We then have our next iteration of the design, Beta, which is intended to be our production intent design of the generator that will be capable of producing 200 kilowatts of power, although it will be very similar in size to Alpha. It is the beta version of the generator that we expect to deploy with customers later this year. A few months ago, we shared how we successfully started supplying power back to the Ohio grid with the Alpha generator while running on natural gas. In the fourth quarter, we also successfully tested flare gas that was collected in the Permian Basin as we ran it through the KARNO generator's reactor and were able to produce heat levels we need to produce electricity. This test highlights the KARNO technology's unique ability to operate on various fuels, which is an advantage versus conventional generators. Since this announcement, we have further analyzed the emissions results of this test and are pleased to share that we expect emissions levels to be below the EPA Tier 4 emission standards by approximately 98% for CO and 76% for NOx when running on this flare gas. One key callout is these expected emissions levels are achieved with no aftertreatment and no exhaust catalyst, which would conventionally be needed with internal combustion engines, and through additional testing, we expect to further improve NOx emissions. More recently, we have also begun printing beta design parts of the KARNO generator. Over the coming months, we will begin validating the beta generator design at our facility and then plan to have generators ready to deploy with customers by the end of this year. Our plan is to produce a high single-digit quantity of units for customers this year, and then we will begin to scale customer deployments in 2025. I'd now like to shift and share some updates on the markets we are targeting with the KARNO generator and some customer updates. We are targeting 3 key markets that we believe the KARNO generator will be able to provide the most benefit: EV charging, the utilization of waste gas, and prime power applications. I'm pleased to share that we secured an LOI with GTL Leasing to be a part of our early adopters program. GTL Leasing plans to offer a mobile EV charging solution that can be deployed in areas where adequate grid power is not currently available. Initial units will be deployed in California, and these generators are expected to be capable of operating on both hydrogen and natural gas, enabling customers to choose which fuel best fits their economic and environmental initiatives. In addition to GTL, we are in discussions with numerous other EV charging providers who are facing similar constraints on the available amount of electricity they can receive from the grid. The second market of focus for us is waste gas. This includes gas that would normally be flared at oil and gas sites or opportunities like using methane from landfills. I'm pleased to announce that we have signed a non-binding LOI with Detmar Logistics, who is a customer of our powertrain solution, to be an adopter of the KARNO technology for the oil and gas space. Detmar is committed to improving emissions in the Permian Basin, which they've accomplished through adopting cleaner trucks, and now plan to work with us to utilize flare gas to produce electricity. Detmar has provided us with the flare gas for testing that I spoke about earlier, and after these positive test results, we are now excited to announce that Detmar is committed to an initial KARNO unit and to be part of our early adopters program. The third focus area is prime power applications. This includes use cases such as powering offices, warehouses, data centers, industrial applications, retail applications, and so on. One key benefit of the KARNO generator is not only being able to provide electricity to these facilities, but also to be able to utilize the excess heat from the generator to provide heating to the facility. One customer application that we are pursuing will be to utilize the excess heat from the generator to preheat the water used in their wash bays. This combined heat and power process will increase the overall efficiency of the KARNO generator and assist with reducing the financial payback time for customers. In addition to these 3 key markets, we will continue to look for unique market opportunities for the KARNO generator. One promising application that we are pursuing is being able to use the generator on Navy vessels. The Office of Naval Research recently presented at the Workboat Show, and they showcased the promising benefits that the KARNO generator can offer, including its impressive efficiency, limited expected maintenance, and fuel flexibility. As we bring the KARNO generator to market, we plan to price it at a premium to conventional generator costs, but not as expensive as other new energy technologies such as fuel cells. However, our plan is we will initially target customers that are currently adopting more expensive new energy solutions. Then, as we scale volume and lower our costs, we will plan to target more conventional applications that are seeking some of the unique benefits that the KARNO generator can provide. As we target initial deployments, we are working closely with our customers to secure subsidies and funding in order to assist with lowering adoption costs. I am pleased to share that under the Inflation Reduction Act's Infrastructure Tax Credit, the KARNO generator is expected to be treated the same as a fuel cell, which means it will qualify for up to a 30% tax credit for some customers. In addition to the base 30% credit, we also expect to be able to qualify for a bonus 10% credit due to the generator being manufactured domestically. Having an up to 40% tax credit will be a significant advantage for customers who are looking to adopt our solution. These credits will go directly to the customer, not to Hyliion, and details on these credits are still being formulated by the IRS, so we will provide further updates and details on them at a later time. The credits can then be utilized by customers, or they can be sold or transferred to other organizations. We are pleased with the customer interest we have been receiving and the ongoing discussions we are having with likely early adopters. For 2024, we expect to begin paid deployments with customers. However, the exact timing of payment may be subject to customers' acceptance of the generator, including meeting certain performance requirements. For 2025, we expect to generate revenue in the low double-digit millions in sales from the KARNO generator, and we have already begun building a backlog of customers who we expect will purchase these units. Lastly, I'd like to share some operational updates on Hyliion so that you can have a greater understanding on how we are shaping the organization post this transition. Our headquarters will remain in Texas at our existing Cedar Park facility in the outskirts of Austin. Long-term, our plan will be to utilize this 120,000 square foot facility for manufacturing and assembly of the KARNO generator as we move into production. We also have a significant presence in Cincinnati, Ohio, which is where most of the engineering development and testing of the generator is taking place. We now have around 100 people in the company, with a little over half of the team in Austin and the remainder in Cincinnati. In early April, we'll be hosting an event at our Cincinnati facility to showcase the KARNO generator and the production of beta generator parts that are underway. In the next few months, we will also plan to begin expanding our production capabilities by installing additive printing machines in our Austin facility. This will enable us to prepare for scaling the growth of deployment in 2025. I also have a few personnel updates to share. I am pleased to welcome Govi Ramasamy as our Chief Commercial Officer. Govi joins us with a wealth of experience after being at Cummins for the past 17 years in their power generation business. Most recently, Govi was the leader of Cummins' global data center business. He played a key role in positioning Cummins as an industry leader in energy transition through focused customer partnering, prioritization of investment, and championing new next-generation technologies. During his tenure, Govi held various leadership roles across China, the Middle East, and North America. As part of our transition of our powertrain business, our Chief Operating Officer, Dennis Gallagher, who led our powertrain operations, will be transitioning on from the organization. I'd like to thank Dennis for his continued leadership and contributions to Hyliion, even as we have been winding down these operations. I would also like to share a couple of board updates as Secretary Andrew Card and Stephen Pang are stepping down from the board. Mr. Card is pursuing a new leadership role with the George and Barbara Bush Foundation, and Mr. Pang is resigning due to personal reasons. I would like to thank Andy and Stephen for their dedicated service on our board. They both have been on the Hyliion board since we went public in 2020 and have been instrumental in the growth of Hyliion and guiding us through this recent transition we undertook. With their departure, we will reduce the board from 10 directors to 8. In summary, we made great progress through the last quarter of 2023 and have a very exciting year ahead. For anyone who is interested in learning more about the technology and how it works, I'd encourage you to go to our YouTube channel and watch a technical overview fireside chat that our Chief Technology Officer, Josh Mook, and I recently hosted. I would now like to turn the call over to John for some further financial updates.
Thank you, Thomas, and good morning. I will start with a quick update regarding the impact of the shutdown of powertrain on our financial results. We expect total shutdown costs to be approximately $20.4 million, exclusive of any proceeds we may receive from the sale of assets and technology. This includes payments for powertrain assets we previously purchased, including Founders trucks, contract cancellation cost, accelerated depreciation of certain assets, and employee severance costs. Of this amount, we recognized $11.5 million of charges in the fourth quarter of 2023, and the remaining $9 million will be recognized in the first quarter of this year. More detail on our powertrain shutdown costs can be found in our 2023 Form 10-K. In the fourth quarter, operating expenses totaled $32.6 million, including the $11.5 million of shutdown costs and approximately $4.5 million in R&D costs related exclusively to our KARNO generator business. This compares to $31.6 million in the prior year quarter. Total cash consumed in the fourth quarter was about $33 million, which includes about $8 million of cash that was reclassified as restricted. This restricted cash is related to the $9 million of first quarter powertrain shutdown expenses that I previously mentioned. Excluding this reclassification of cash, we spent about $24 million of our capital during the fourth quarter. We earned $3.5 million of interest income for the quarter, compared to $2.7 million in 2022. Net loss for the quarter was $29 million, which was flat compared to last year. For the full year, our total operating expenses were $136 million, including the $11.5 million in powertrain shutdown costs and $15.3 million in R&D expenses related to the KARNO generator business. In 2022, full-year operating expenses were $152 million and included $28.8 million of one-time expenses associated with our purchase of the KARNO generator business from GE. Full-year 2023 interest income was $13.8 million compared to $5.7 million in 2022. Our total net loss in 2023 was $124 million compared to $153 million in 2022. We finished the year with $291 million of unrestricted cash and short and long-term investments on our balance sheet. I want to again remind everyone that we maintain a significant share of our capital in longer-term investments. Our year-end cash balance of $291 million is somewhat better than our previous forecast of $285 million. This difference relates primarily to the timing of some shutdown expenses, which were accrued in the fourth quarter of 2023, but will be paid out in the first quarter of this year. Overall, the shutdown of powertrain is proceeding as we expected. Next, I'll give a quick update on the $20 million share repurchase program that Thomas referenced. We started the program very late in December, and we repurchased 37,000 shares for the quarter. We've been very active in the market since then, with repurchases continuing on a regular basis. Beyond that, we'll provide another update during our first quarter earnings call. Looking forward to 2024, as Thomas mentioned, we expect to begin deploying KARNO generator units to customers late in the year. While these are expected to be paid deployments, the timing of the payments remains uncertain due to the varying nature of the initial deployment agreements and performance criteria. In 2025, we expect to ramp up KARNO generator deliveries and revenue, with total sales in the low double-digit millions of dollars. Gross margin is still somewhat uncertain as we ramp up production of printed parts and suppliers. We estimate that sales in 2025 will have gross margin that is slightly negative to break even. Beyond 2025, we don't yet have estimates for sales or gross margin that we are ready to share. We expect to consume between $40 and $50 million in cash for 2024. This estimate is a little higher than the $40 million we previously projected, but also reflects a more rapid ramp-up in additive printer growth investments. This estimate is inclusive of operating expenses, capital spending, and interest income, but excludes cash spent for share repurchases, cash expenditures for powertrain shutdown activities, and asset sale proceeds. Regarding the latter two items, we believe that proceeds from asset sales should approximately equal or exceed cash spent for powertrain shutdown activities during the year. To summarize this point further, we ended 2023 with $291 million of cash and investments. We expect to end 2024 with between $220 and $230 million of cash and investments, with some uncertainty around the timing of KARNO generator sales and also capital expenditures for additive printer machines, as I previously noted. We expect that the capital we have on hand today will be sufficient for the foreseeable future, including commercialization of KARNO generator sales. Next, we will open up the call for questions.